But really what's important is where's the Fed ultimately going? Are they going to just go to 550 and stop there? That's really no different than 525. But the market is starting to bet on the idea that they might go to 6% by the fall.
Yes, welcome back everybody. My name's Austin. Huge announcement coming out of Coinbase today, as well as a bombshell piece of news coming out of Google. But first, very quickly, we have to talk about macro. Because just like 2022, what the Fed chooses to do with interest rates in 2023 affects you and me as crypto holders. And this is a huge week for markets. Back on February 1st, Federal Chairman Powell was asked if a Fed pivot was discussed. Powell said that the Fed minutes, which just came out yesterday, will give a lot of detail about the path forward.
Did you or your colleagues discuss the conditions for a pause at this meeting this week?
You'll see the minutes will come out in 3 weeks and we'll give you a lot of detail.
These will be the most important Fed minutes that we've ever seen. Now, obviously, since this meeting, we got much more data on the situation. That inflation is still very, very sticky. It is hard to suppress, as well as the labor market. The unemployment numbers have never been stronger. And so the minutes came out yesterday with Jerome Powell telling us, in so many words, to expect even more rate hikes. For a further explanation on this, how this affects me and you, listen to this quick 90-second clip on CNBC.
The latest Fed minutes indicating more rate hikes are needed to bring down inflation, and our next guest suggests that weakens the case to own stocks. What did you think of the minutes? Did it change anything about how you think the Fed is going to proceed the next meeting?
No, the minutes were hyped because Jay Powell said February 1st that he would lay out a detailed plan for how the Fed would pause. And when we got there, we didn't really get a detailed plan, or whatever plan we got was before a monster payroll report and before an uptick in CPI, and it really doesn't apply anymore. And that's set the stage for what we've seen in the last 2 weeks, and that is a big rise of interest rates. 10-year yields up 50 basis points. The street is coming out now and saying that the Fed is going to raise rates not only in March and in May, but again in June and go to 5.5%. And that is becoming more and more the reality. And the minutes didn't do anything to stop that train that were going beyond the 5.25 that the Fed was saying would be their terminal or end point just a few weeks ago.
And I guess there's also the wild card of a 50 basis point hike the next meeting. We know that at least Mester and Bullard were in favor of that at the last meeting. We don't know who else might have been also, because the language in the minutes seemed to imply that there could have been another person who is in the same camp. But I'm wondering, Jim, if we're just, we're not looking at the big picture here, whether there's 50 now or there's an additional 25, the end point is higher. But how long do you think we will be at that end point?
No, you're right. I think that, whether we do 50 or 25 at the next meeting is really a function of the stock market. If we're 4,300, I think we do 50. If we're 4,000 where we're at now or lower, I think we do 25. But really what's important is where's the Fed ultimately going? Are they going to just go to 550 and stop there? That's really no different than 525. But the market is starting to bet on the idea that they might go to 6% by the fall.
So obviously, Jerome Powell is suggesting that the federal funds rate is going to stay aggressive. This is undoubtedly bad for crypto prices in the short term, but most other channels won't share this with you. I will. The big players are taking out their positions in crypto quietly behind the scenes today. Google Cloud to become a validator on the Tezos network, meaning the tech giants' corporate customers will now be able to deploy Tezos nodes to build Web3 applications on the network. Meaning Google wants to be a part of the infrastructure for Tezos, meaning Google is a big believer in the future of this space. The integration with Tezos marks Google Cloud's latest integration with a blockchain network, although subscribers of this channel will remember they're also supporting Ethereum, the infrastructure, as well as a big supporter of Solana. And again, the mainstream media will not cover this, but this is happening, that Google Cloud is running a validator on Ethereum, Solana, and now Tezos, as well as what one of you pointed out, they're also apparently in the Ronin network. They also do support the Theta network. And also, Google is also a validator on Hedera network HBAR, besides many other huge companies, I guess, in Hedera. So what this means to you and me is Google isn't so much throwing all their support for one blockchain. They're saying they believe in the space and they want to help support the infrastructure. Such integrations demonstrate the interest that tech giants are taking in blockchain and Web3 projects. They may also inspire confidence in other firms interested in moving into the industry, knowing that they can do so using infrastructure with the scale and resilience provided by firms like Google. So the downside of this, obviously, if people choose to use AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Google Cloud, the risk is centralization of nodes. Something like this is a big signal that these major players are getting into this industry. And next piece of bombshell news, case in point, Spotify now testing Web3 wallets integration, so users can access the token-enabled playlists from Overlord, Floof, Moonbirds, and Kingship with their NFT wallets, meaning that the only way you will be able to access certain curated playlists is if you're a part of these certain NFT communities. Overlord, a Web3 gaming ecosystem, announced its partnership with Spotify on February 22nd. The token-enabled community curated playlists from Overlord may now be accessed via Web3 wallets to only those who hold the Creeps non-fungible NFTs on Spotify. And besides Overlord, other participants in this 3-month pilot are Floof, Fluff, Moonbirds, and Kingship metaverse communities. And to unlock these track lists, including hits by Queen, Missy Elliott, Snoop Dogg, Led Zeppelin, users need to possess a Kingship keycard NFT if you want the curated playlist. And Coinbase just made a major announcement. Coinbase launches its own Ethereum Layer 2 network for building decentralized apps. The network, known as Base, is designed to be a low-cost, secure, developer-friendly environment that Coinbase said will serve as a bridge to the underlying Layer 1, as this is a new Layer 2. Here was that direct announcement. We're excited to announce Build on Base. Base is an Ethereum L2 that offers a secure, low-cost, developer-friendly way for anyone, anywhere to build decentralized apps. Our goal with Base is to make on-chain the next online and onboard 1 billion plus users into the crypto economy. And let's be very clear here. Important, Base is not a token. We do not plan to issue a new network token for Base and will use Ethereum as the native gas token. So if successful, and Coinbase is a huge juggernaut, traditional finance loves Coinbase. If successful, this will lead to so many new people being onboarded onto ETH. So if you like Ethereum, you like this, and many of you probably saw this, bigger news, Optimism pumps 16% amid Coinbase Layer 2 launch. And the reason is, Base will be built on the OP stack used by Optimism. It will start off highly centralized, they admit that, though Coinbase has released a detailed plan regarding how the network will decentralize over time. And of course, it will start off highly centralized. I like how they admitted it. Now, an easy way to decentralize, one of them would be if they launched their own Base token and made it more of a DAO, a governance token, and that would decentralize the network for the users to be in control. But if they're not going to launch their own coin, which they, can't because they're in the US, I do like how they're looking to the future for decentralization. In their announcement, Coinbase said that Base will be fully open sourced and freely available. The company said it is joining the OP Stack core developer team to ensure it's a public good available for everyone. Very troubling news for Voyager. This was about to be good news. I was about to come here today and announce Voyager's Binance US sale plan, which seemed full steam ahead. 97% of creditors have so far voted in favor of the plan, with hours left to go in the vote, meaning that Binance US was about to make a purchase of Voyager's assets, and Voyager has been very clear the reason that they chose Binance US. Voyager's attorney said that Binance US's offer was the best deal for creditors to get some of their money back. So this was about to be bullish. Unfortunately, as of yesterday, the SEC objects to Binance US's $1 billion Voyager deal, alleging the sale of unregistered securities. And in my opinion, this is sort of obvious because if they came down on Celsius, if they just came down on Kraken for offering interest on your assets if you deposited, Voyager was a crypto lender. They obviously did the same thing. And now the $1.02 billion deal by Binance US to purchase the assets of Voyager Digital has been opposed by both New York and the federal finance regulators, who made a filing on February 22nd, saying this was unlawful. So just when Voyager account holders again saw a potential out, the SEC ruined it. The minute I get new information, I will make a video, I will keep you updated. And if you'll be in Miami Beach, May 18th through 20th of this year, I hope you join us. I hope you use code Altcoin Daily for 10% off your ticket for Bitcoin 2023. Link down below.